Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 173. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we welcome back friend of the show, BetterOffBlue, as we talk about what Blue's been up to since Forsaken released, break down the new Pinnacle Weapons for Season of the Forge, and finally, what we're most thankful for in Forsaken. Guardians, and welcome. It's Cyborg, and I'm here with special returning guest by popular demand, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only BetterOffBlue.
And welcome. The crowd goes wild.
The artist formerly known as I'm the Blue Ranger.
Yeah,
he returns in his final form.
Yes. This is my, what? Why is it my final form?
I don't know. I just went with that.
All right, it's fair. I like Dragon Ball Z, you know. So. Yeah. Are you gonna clip together a whole bunch of like a montage of my greatest Destiny Reset moments now?
No, it's just gonna be a clip of you going.
Wait, that exists? Did I do that? Did I do that on stream? Do you have like a clip of me screaming? Do you just watch me when I'm walking around my house? How do you know that I do that every Thursday?
Like, caught that one in the shower.
What? What?
Welcome back to the show. If you're not familiar with my friend Blue, he has been on the show quite a few times, been on a hiatus for a while, but it was more than fitting to have him return to the show and talk Destiny with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I currently go by the name BetterOffBlue on Twitch and Twitter, though I haven't really been streaming so much as since the last time you guys heard from me, my life's gotten a lot better, so streaming has kind of faded out. But I basically got into streaming just over 3 years ago because of Destiny, like a lot of people did. It was a really great game for streaming, and it's where a lot of my friends were gaming. I met a lot of people. I mean, I met a group of people early on through LFG that were in the same city as me, and I'm still friends with those guys. It's, you know, so this game's always offered me a lot, and then streaming it opened new doors where I was able to meet people like Cyborg and Arrow through the Fight the Flood campaign, which was like an incidental thing. It was, if you're not familiar, it was a charity event that they did a couple years ago. A friend of mine who was a high-level PvP player and did trials carries on the weekends and stuff, he was supposed to do it and couldn't at the last second and just came to me and said, hey, can you help these guys out? They need to fill a slot. And I said, sure, why not? And the rest is history. And I just play games. I play a lot of games, and for a lot of people who remember me on the show before, you'll probably know. I'm just going to address this. I hope you're okay with me addressing this really quick, Cyborg.
You mean the elephant in the room?
The part where I hated Destiny more than anything in the world for about 10 months?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people listening right now. Oh, well, maybe not, because they may have seen my name in the title or in the thumbnail or something and been like, whoops, nope. For about 10 months, I was so incredibly critical of this game, and I stand by my choices in words and topics and criticisms, because I think Destiny was in a bad place. But there's a lot of people who said, this guy's too toxic, I don't want to be around him. I think people who know me as a person know that on Twitter I come off different than I actually am, and that's because I have a hard time really articulating the way I want to be perceived online, because I usually spout very emotionally.
Like anybody does, because you get 100-something characters to voice complex ideas and put context around them.
It gets messy, and I think that most people who get to know me realize that I'm just very opinionated, and I don't usually base my... Yeah, I know. Oh. Cyborg knows me. I don't usually base my opinions on nothing. Sometimes they come out of ignorance. I'll be the first to say it. But usually that's because I missed a twab or something, and I'm like, why is this the way that it is? But to the people who are immediately turned off by me because of that period, I understand. But I'd say give me a second shot here, because I'm in love with Destiny now. In fact, since the middle of July, I've played just shy of 500 hours of Destiny 2. And Cyborg's seen the numbers.
Those numbers.
Yep, they check out.
Yep, numbers check out.
It's I'm back to not buying other games to play more Destiny. So I still have a lot of strong opinions, and a lot of them are really, really positive, and the ones that aren't are, as Arrow would approve, being very constructive. Maybe I don't always word them the way that I should on Twitter, but I try to make them constructive. Sometimes they come out of moments of serious tilt, though. So if you do follow me there,
you're not alone in that. And if you don't follow us elsewhere, Blue and I and our friend Shaka Khan, aka Shadow Khan, we all do a show together called Splash the Image Radio, where we talk about everything else that exists besides Destiny. Believe it or not, those things are real.
And we compare a lot of them to Destiny because we all really like Destiny. So
there's a dark mirror to your podcasts. Yeah, I just went deep on that one.
Yep.
So me and Blue hang out and talk Destiny a lot, even out off the air. And he has been due for a return for a while and vocally ready to do so. So I'm glad to have him back on the show.
We don't talk because of Destiny Reset.
Yeah, we talk
on Splash Damage Radio. We say go listen to Destiny Reset if you want Destiny. Now when Forsaken came out, we did a Forsaken episode because me and Shaka Khan, we were just like, sorry, we're doing this. But when it comes to the day-to-day stuff, even if we've had a big moment, we don't talk about it because there's another show for it. And so I'm excited to be back. I lost track. It's been a while since I've been on. This might be my 17th time, if you include the live one.
I don't know.
It's
a lot.
Well over 2 digits.
It's a lot.
I think the 16 was my last one.
Yeah. A lot of guest spots. Top guest still, a number of returning spots on the show. Well, we'll do a couple quick warm-ups here, and then I'm going to ask you some other questions about yourself. That's all right.
All right. I like talking.
Yes. We don't have any announcements this week over in the community. Besides, if you're in our Discord, or if you're not, go join our Discord, discord.gg/Destiny Reset. If you're in the Discord, there's a fun activity up this week. Should still be up, I believe. Let me see what the deadline is. But one of our new ambassadors, the Beard MB, did a fun quiz, 2 truths and 1 lie. And you have an opportunity to win either, I believe it's $25 or $10, depending on how you place, in digital cash. He basically pulled 2 truths and 1 lie from a bunch of the folks in the derp community, and you have to go take the quiz, and it's tough. It's actually tougher than you might think. So go check that out if you haven't already, and keep your eyes peeled. We'll have more community events going on. This was just kind of a fun little activity, but we're going to have some other things that we're planning on doing over the next couple months that you'll probably want to take part in. So if you need a fun community to come hang out in, come join our Discord. We'd love to have you. And congratulations and welcome to all the members that we've had coming in the past few weeks. We've noticed, and we're glad to have you. So Blue, let's talk a couple more important points that people need to know about you.
All right, this sounds deep. Let's get into it.
All right. So tell me about when you were born.
Well, that's actually an interesting story. I was the last 10-month baby of in the city that I live in.
Are you serious?
I am actually serious.
Oh my gosh.
My due date was July 31st, and my birthday is August 24th.
Were you like a fat baby? Were you a big one?
8 pounds, 16 ounces.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
My brother, who's now taller and about half my weight, I'm a big guy. He was actually 8 pounds, 24 ounces, I think. Like, he was even bigger than I was. So,
that's
big old
pounds. Yeah.
Well, whatever. It was just under 9 pounds. I don't know, man. I got through college without taking a math class. Leave me alone.
That was a curveball. That was a joke question.
I had a real answer. Okay,
yeah,
this is what you need to learn to expect from your guests, man.
Can't put you on the spot. We've got the Derp Lightning round, so people can get an idea of some important talking points here. So, what is your favorite class in Destiny?
Titan, let's go, boys!
Titans. What is your favorite subclass you're running? I guess tell me PvE, PvP. What do you like?
I've been throwing hammers is still the way to go, in my opinion. I love the new shield occasionally, but I find that I have the most luck in almost all walks as a hammer titan. Even though my most favoritist of all time on a titan to play for fun is the new hammer, the Maul. It is just glorious. I love that super above anything else, but unfortunately just doesn't have a lot of functionality. So it's you kind of just I like to hit things real hard.
Yeah. Awesome. What is your favorite weapon in Destiny 2 Forsaken?
Oh gosh, real hung up on this because I've been playing with a lot of different weapons.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to Luna's Howl. I mean, I was torn. I wanted to say I got a Bygones. I'm really lazy, and my Bygones is full auto rampage, and it can do work. But Luna's Howl, if you don't have it and you've been wrecked by it, and you're going, that gun seems cheap, it is. It's as cheap as you think it is. And it is as fun as you think it is.
I saw you saying on Twitter, like, you really think that gun's going to get nerfed because
100%.
It's too good.
100%
but wouldn't you rather that reward be that good?
Not at the cost of people being frustrated with playing standard Crucible.
I see.
That's and that's the truth, is they still refuse to gate weapons from one thing to another, which I understand because Luna's Howl has become one of my favorite PvE weapons. I used to run Trust in PvE because I liked that kind of gunslinger, snappy, because it still pops the heads of red enemies. Mm-hmm. And so I like Luna's Howl across the board pretty much anywhere that I play with it. But when I go in, when we actually all last night, all of us, we were going to grind this weekend for Not Forgotten, realized that it just wasn't in the cards, and said, let's go back to quick play. And oh my God, we ran the table. Like we were unstoppable because we'd been playing nothing but comp for 2-3 weeks straight. Went back into quick play with all of us and our Luna's Howls and our new experience. And it was just savagery. There was none left standing, and I almost felt bad. And that's why I think that Luna's Howl will get nerfed. It is that good.
Yeah, I've stayed out of PvP, to be honest, recently.
I rest my case. It really is that and when I get killed by Not Forgotten, every now and then I'm like, what the heck was, oh wow, Not Forgotten. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah. It's the next tier up, and it gets me from across the map because its range is boosted. So
yeah. So what's your favorite Destiny character?
So Amanda Holiday has always been on the top of my list because I just like her wit, her humor, her sense of humor.
She's really prominent in Forsaken.
Yeah, she has been. But the Drifter came in and just stole my heart. And the stuff that he yells, and just when you're playing Gambit and he goes, the opposing team sucks. Just kidding. Your team's doing great. Like, I don't know. I just like that candor, that just, he feels like one of the people I'd hang out with, throwing shade at your buddies in a loving way. And when you with Last Wish, when you use the wish to bring him in, he starts with like, whoa, all right, Guardian, what are we doing here? Like, he's just, I like it a lot. His mannerisms and everything. I think that where Cade became a cartoon, he became like a bro, somebody that you could bro out with,
I like the writing better for the Drifter. I think he's definitely one of my favorite new characters. Just like because of what you're saying, like he apologizes for nothing, says what he really thinks, doesn't have any moral hangups about anything.
But he also still cares about you, and you can tell, like, you know,
does
I've
he
played
though?
A lot of this. Yeah,
Does
because
he, though?
when you get dredging, his speech to you when you get dredging is like, I'm proud of you. You did something serious, like you did something that few Guardians have done. And like he finishes, he goes, and now, Guardian, you got a new title, dredging. And like the way he says it, the way it's delivered is this like, you did it. And I'm proud of you. Like, you can tell. And I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what I get from it.
I don't know. Well, the thing is you don't know how much to read into it. Like, there's
we don't even know his
case.
name.
Yeah, there's a case that can be made that he is extremely manipulative, you know?
Oh, for sure.
And because you don't know his motives, you don't even know how dangerous he really is, who he is, what his goals are. You just know how he treats you, but he definitely treats you like one of those people that you've never met. And they're like, hey, buddy, how you doing, man? You look great today. You know, and it's like,
hey, Chief, how you doing?
He does it so well. Like, I think that's what's so cool about the Drifter is that he's so likable. Like, that's his superpower, that he is so good at being likable. And I think that shows how good the writing is, that when he gave you that speech, you're like, dude, I really believe this. And maybe he does really feel that way. But at the same time, you're kind of like, you know, I don't know. Like, is he manipulating me? I don't know. You know, that's why I'm so intrigued by the character. Like, I want to know more of what that story is going to play out to be.
I honestly, I hope that it's not all that you're saying. And I hope that he becomes a regular. I'd be stoked if he became, in like Destiny 3, he became the new Hunter Vanguard. I don't know his story. Maybe he was a Titan. Yeah. Maybe he's not a Guardian at all. I have no idea who this guy is.
Well, he's not a Guardian, but he is a light bearer. Like, in the sense that he was revived, he has a ghost and he has the powers of the light. But he's kind of like the old world light bearers, like in the time before the Iron Lords, where they were like warlords and there was no tower, there's no vanguard, and people just did whatever they wanted with that power. That's kind of where he comes from. And so I think that's what's really interesting about him, is that he kind of just plays by his own rules.
That's fair.
But I don't see him. It wouldn't make sense to me for them to take that character in a direction where he would be doing something that would cause him to be like cast out, because then what would happen to Gambit, you know? Like,
yeah, no, that's like, true.
So I think they're going to keep him around. But I like that he plays by his own rules. And I like to think that he's doing what he's doing because he thinks that there needs to be another way. Kind of like Marasov. Like, I don't, they don't buy into like the fundamental
They're very
idea
similar.
of like worshiping the traveler, and so to speak, so they're like, we're going to find our own way, our own power. And I think that's what he's up to. He's like, possibly. I'm not going to live on one extreme or the other. Like, I'm just going to use the tools that we have at our disposal to build something that can save us,
However, if they flush out his story before I figure out what the heck happened with Eris Morn, I'm going to be really upset. That's why I don't think any of this is going to happen, because they literally set Eris Morn up to be a villain in an expansion or something, and she just gone.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like, she's like, there's definitely something there, because it's almost like she's purposefully omitted from this expansion. Like, she's in a bunch of the lore, but why wouldn't she be there as a character? Like, there's so much that she was involved in. It just makes you wonder, so what's her deal, Yeah. But we are going to see something with him in Joker's Wild in the spring, so
we'll have to see.
I don't know. Maybe Eris will show up with the Black Armory stuff.
Possibly. I mean, yeah. We'll just have to see. But let's go ahead and continue on with the world's slowest lightning round.
All right, I will. This is Thunder and Lightning. What's your favorite game besides Destiny right now?
Myself and my fiance have been really enjoying the Let's Go Pokemon games. I have Pikachu, she has Eevee. I love my Switch. If Destiny was on Switch, I'd be playing it on there. But it's just a super fun game, and it's nostalgia city. If you liked Pokemon when you were a kid, it's this, but it's the way that it should be played, and it's great.
Nice. What are your favorite chips?
I love me some, I don't know if it's Utz or Oots.
I think it's Utz.
I think it's Utz, but they have a honey barbecue potato chip, just pretty plain, but it's, I like honey barbecue, and there's not a ton of honey barbecue chips out there, and Utz makes good chips as a base, so it's not like there's other chip brands that make chips that have honey barbecue, but Utz does it the best.
I'm going to have to find those. We don't really get Utz down here. I'll find some, because I like honey barbecue too.
They're good.
Yeah. All right, the final most important question. Does pineapple belong on pizza, Blue?
I thought for sure that the Supreme Court had already ruled on this, so I don't know why the question is still in your lightning round, but of
still
course
have
not.
the freedom of speech to talk about
it. I thought they'd said no more pineapple on pizza and just deemed it unconstitutional, but I guess not. So no, pineapple has no business on pizza, and that should be law by now. I don't
write to your legislator if you feel strongly about this.
2020, if there is a presidential candidate who uses this as their platform, I will vote for them. I'll write their name in. Let's do it.
All right. You've heard it here first. Well, now that we know Blue a little bit better, let's talk about some news. You ready for the news?
Let's go.
There's not a lot this week, but as always, we do have This Week at Bungie. And
What's
this week
that?
at Bungie, we gave thanks. What do you say?
I said, what's that? What's This Week at Bungie?
Well, that's the thing I read to you every Monday because you don't read it.
I know, and I like hearing it.
That's good. They pardoned the Colonel this week in the tower. I thought that was kind of funny.
It was. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. They wished us the best, whatever you did for Thanksgiving if you're in America. If you're not, then this holiday doesn't matter to you. But here's what does matter. Pinnacle weaponry.
Ooh,
boy.
I wasn't expecting this in the news so quickly, and when I opened it up, I'm like, whoa, everyone stop talking.
Yeah. I pulled up to 12 and I was like, what? I was like half asleep in a like pre-Thanksgiving food coma because I was tasting food. Scrolled down on Pinnacle Weaponry and I was like, oh, I gotta wake up. I gotta read this. So we got Sandbox designer Victor Anderson gave us the rundown on 3 Pinnacle weapons for season 5. We get 2 new Pinnacle weapons this season. So first, we have the Vanguard. The weapon is called Loaded Question. It is a high-impact fusion rifle with arc damage. The unique perk is Reservoir Bursts. When the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode on death. So they talk about how they went through a little bit of a cycle developing this, but the perk they landed on really dealt the oomph that they wanted to deal with waves of clustered enemies. So this is definitely a kind of a specialized weapon for certain activities, definitely built for strikes, it seems. So if you want to earn loaded questions, you can pick up the quest from Zavala, and you complete the following objectives. You can earn progress towards these goals at the same time. 500 fusion rifle kills in any Striker Nightfall, 1,000 arc kills in any Striker Nightfall, and 40 Strike or Nightfall completions. Then head back to Zavala. What do you think about this gun?
I think it's a fun PvE offering for Pinnacle Weapons that will see a mediocre amount of use before living in the vault. It's super cool. I'll be going for it, but I don't understand. It's going to, until we see this perk in action, it's hard to say, but it kind of sounds like what you can do with the Telesto already.
A little bit.
you can kind of throw these Telesto bolts all over the place and it'll blow up a lot of small enemies. So they purposefully say they wanted this to be for ad clearing, but to me, the only real viable fusion rifles in PvE are ones that have traditionally done damage to bosses well. Like Merciless, when the raid first dropped, was the jam for dogs. I don't know if I'm going too far back or not, but now Telesto can be used in if you're cheesing Riven. I don't know if that's a no conversation topic here. I've never heard that being poo-pooed here, but if you're cheesing Riven, if you want to call it that, a lot of people choose Telesto as the backup. I like Fighting Lion, but I know some people who use Telesto, and then you have somebody using the tractor cannon and that void damage boost. It works out. So pushing an arc fusion rifle that's not going to work as well with a tractor cannon, I don't know. I think it's a fun weapon. I'll be grinding for it because I love Pinnacle Weapons, but I think it's going to end up in my vault.
Fair enough. I don't know if I can argue with you until I play with it. I think that it could not be important enough to main the weapon. When there's exotics and things that do what it does better, I think we just need to see how it stacks up against Telesto.
For all we know, this is one of those things where the reservoir burst might hit small adds and just decimate the field, and you go,
right,
whoa, you get 3 of these going through a strike, and especially when you throw arc burn on, and it's just, you don't even have to try, and everyone loves this thing.
Yeah.
For instance, you ever done a Nightfall? You ever done a Nightfall on a Titan with the Void class where you use the middle tree Void class where it makes them explode from Void grenades and throw Grenadier on?
So much fun. Things just explode and explode forever and ever.
You throw up the one where we were grinding Mindbender's Ambition and they just spawn in a line at the front of the room. We would just both throw down Void walls and they would just run through them and explode, and we never even had them get to us. It was so much fun.
It's a cool build. That's a fun that class is so much fun with that new subclass. Super. Well, I think it's cool that they're doing a Pinnacle weapon for strikes and for the Vanguard. It's a start, even if it's not the greatest weapon from the get-go. If we can get iterations and they can come up with new ideas for this stuff, then that's awesome. And it gives players, I know people that play a ton of strikes. Like, that's what they enjoy doing. So this gives them something for that time.
Could I offer an alternate, what I think would be a good Pinnacle weapon?
Please.
Legendary trace rifle.
Oh.
Right? See, you don't even need to give it a crazy cool perk, though it would have one, because it's a trace rifle that's legendary. It opens your exotic slot up. That in and of itself does so. And you don't want to give them, that sounds terrible, give them. You don't want to just give away a super high-powered weapon to PvE content, because it's much, much easier to get. And I'm not saying that it isn't fun. I love strikes. But you don't want to give, kind of like how they gave everyone Thunderlord, and that gun's pretty dangerous. There might be a couple too many Thunderlords out there right now. But you want a Pinnacle weapon that's going to be worth going for, that is also not going to break the game. And I think if you go just legendary trace rifle and give it some similar thing, it just causes them to explode when you kill them. That's a Pinnacle weapon to me. So that's why this one I think might live in my vault.
Well, we'll find out. It's not going to be terribly hard to get. I think that 40 strikes is just a time investment.
But I mean, if you want to do you get the engrams or whatever anyway, you're going to do 3 on, for me, I'm going to do 3 on each character every week regardless.
Right.
So, you'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we've got Gambit. I'm really excited that there's a Pinnacle weapon for Gambit in the next season. It's called Breakneck. It's a precision auto rifle in the kinetic slot. Breakneck's unique perk is Onslaught. This weapon's rate of fire increases as you stack Rampage. So they mentioned they really wanted to create something that fit the activity for this weapon, because that's the idea for Pinnacle Weapons. And this is intended to be a workhorse for Gambit encounters, where killing large numbers of enemies very fast is the name of the game for a significant portion of it. So something with Rampage was an obvious starting point. So they did with this, like they did with Outlaw for Desperado, they're adding something similar here for Rampage. I'm assuming that while they're increasing the rate of fire, that the impact will be the same. Yeah, I guess that would make the most sense. And definitely a precision auto rifle with that type of perk is going to work really well in Gambit. I typically rock auto rifles, and this is built, if you can't see the pictures, if you haven't seen, this is built around Hazard of the Cast frame, it appears, and a couple cosmetic enhancements. My favorite is how the sights on the weapon include a Gambit coin. I don't know. I want to see how that's going to look when you ADS, but it looks really cool. So to earn Breakneck, you got to pick up the quest from the Drifter. You complete the following objectives. You can do them concurrently, just like the last weapon. 500 auto rifle kills, 100 auto rifle multi-kills, 150 challenging enemies defeated, and 40 Gambit matches completed. Then you return back to the Drifter and get a fully masterworked Breakneck. I wonder what the masterwork setting is going to be on it. Range would be great.
It'll probably be handling. I think most of these are handling.
That would make sense on a precision. So this is exciting. I think that would be... I mean, I'm usually rocking an auto rifle in my kinetic slot for Gambit, so this is going to be like perfect for my build.
Yeah, I've been rocking an auto rifle this whole time too with my full auto bygones. But it's have you played with Hazard of the Cast very much?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's very stable. Oh, it's so nice in that way. I don't think auto rifles are in the best place right now for PvE. They're fun, just like they always are for PvE, but they're not. I think they could go up a little bit, just like a 0.1 damage or 0.05 even damage. Just there's something about them that feels like I should rather use a pulse. I don't know, but I like this perk because it reminds me of Riedrich's broadsword, but it's only really going to be effective in PvE because you need that rampage stack, and you could do it in PvP. It's not going to be likely.
It's not going to be likely, and you're really going to need to be in a 6v6 mode where the other team's not playing well to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm excited that the fact that we have something like this for Gambit is going to be awesome, and and the intent and the way that they're implementing it really works well. For me, I think it will for a lot of players to have just a really strong auto that you can put in that kinetic slot. And it doesn't have to mess with your special and your heavy ammo weapons that you're using for other specialized means, So, all right, this next one is where it gets real controversial. So for Crucible, the Mountaintop, it's a lightweight grenade launcher in the kinetic slot. The Mountaintop's unique perk is Micro Missile. This weapon fires in a straight line and has a massively increased projectile speed. In addition to the above benefits, the projectile instantly detonates on the environment instead of bouncing like a traditional grenade launcher unless you have sticky grenades selected. So they mentioned it was created for a few reasons. They didn't have any new lightweight grenade launchers since Forsaken other than Militia's Birthright. They feel it's a underrepresented weapon type, and it gave them an opportunity to explore it as a Pinnacle Crucible weapon and add more variety to the mix of what you'll use and have used against you. The feeling of getting a direct hit for that instant kill is satisfying, so the weapon was built to support it, but to give it more options, it's also the only lightweight grenade launcher with sticky grenades, for those of you who have a more tactical approach to Crucible. So let's talk about how you earn it. They did change up some of the requirements this season for the Pinnacle Crucible weapons. You'll actually be able to complete some of the objectives outside of the competitive playlists. The downside, however, is that you will not progress as quickly. You do still need to rank up your glory score to Fabled in the end to claim the weapon. So step 1 is reach glory rank Brave within a season. Step 2, each objective earns you progress per action in any playlists, and players can earn substantial bonus progress by completing them in the competitive playlist. So in the Crucible, earn Grenade Launcher Final Blows. You need 750 total points. Non-comp is 3 points. Comp is 10 points per kill. Next, rapidly defeat groups of 2 or more opponents, 200 total points. Non-comp, double plays, 2 points. Subsequent kills after double plays, 1 point. Comp playlists, you earn 5 points for double plays and 2 points for subsequent kills. Finally, earn calculated trajectory medals, 100 total points. Non-comp, you get 1 point. Comp, you get 4 points. Finally, reach glory rank Fabled within a season. After you reach Fabled, you can come down from the mountaintop and return to Lord Shaxx to receive the weapon. What do you think about this, Blue?
I love it. And I know that I'm, in terms of people who play comp, probably in the minority, but I love it. And I don't really have much more to say. One of my favorite things that they added in Forsaken is the two-tailed fox, because it reminds me of a Borderlands 2 weapon. Like, that's how that gun feels, the way that it sounds, the way that it shoots, how both the rockets kind of like woo, all over the place before they hit things. Like,
yeah,
it's a fun weapon, and this also feels like that. Like, you're shooting us, like one of the weapon groups from Borderlands 2 that I don't think is represented in Destiny. Not that anyone should expect them to be representing Borderlands 2 weapons in Destiny, because they're two different developers, but one of them that I think would be neat to explore is the Touareg Weapons from Borderlands 2, which were all explosives, and a lot of them frankly shot little rockets, like hand cannons that shot little tiny rockets. You could see them, they had a projectile speed, and they dealt tons of damage. But they were slow and not super accurate, and that was the trade-off. Higher damage, lower accuracy, but some of the best guns in the game were Touareg guns. Enter the Unkempt Herald, if you're a fan of that game series. I think this kind of fills that niche, that desire of mine to explore that weapon type in this game, and I'm going for it. So I'm excited.
I've seen a lot of different reactions to this weapon being the choice for the Pinnacle weapon this season. I talked with folks before this announcement about what they had in mind. What do you want to see next season? I heard shotguns, I heard sniper rifles. Those were the majority of what I heard from different players that played a lot of PvP. And the reactions to this announcement on social media were not positive.
No, I assumed it would be a shotgun personally.
I was hoping it wasn't, though.
I know that I feel those feels, but I thought there would be. Just
because we've been in that place in Destiny before where there was an overpowered shotgun that basically ruined the game. Yeah, that dirty 2 words. So I was hoping that it would be something more unique. I think this definitely fits the bill.
I was going to say, you said more unique. How much more unique do you get? Absolutely.
And it's a cool idea. I mean, it's a pocket rocket launcher in your kinetic slot. Forgive my verbiage there, but it's definitely unique. It's definitely going to take people getting out of their comfort zone, I think, to earn this, because you're going to have to main grenade launchers. And I think the best take I've seen on this was, I want to say it was I Am Cool Guy on Twitter, was talking about how he thinks that this is such a brilliant decision by Bungie, because it's going to force a meta change
Yeah.
in comp and in other playlists as well, to make people look at this weapon type, because it's underrepresented and underutilized, but it is effective. There are players, prominent players, that use these guns to great effect in their play styles, are really good at them, and can compete.
Yeah.
And this is just coming from an outsider looking in, because I'm not a comp player. So it's easy for me to say that, and I have no credibility in that department, but I'm interested to see how this could and does change the meta. And I think it's also worth mentioning, like, this is the second of many seasons to come, and there's going to be many seasons with different weapons, and we can't, I don't think that it's fair to have an expectation that the first 2, 3, 4 seasons are these amazing weapons in all of your favorite slots, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to expect, okay, we got a hand cannon, now we're going to get a sniper, then we're going to get a shotgun, then we're going to, you know, we had a pulse.
Yeah.
Like, why is it required they check off all these boxes for your favorites, or for what the expected default is for PvP? I think it's great for them to experiment a little bit.
There's a major point too that I think needs to be examined as we choose to be critical or not critical about their choice here. And that is, I saw basically every high-end player I saw venting their frustrations about this were saying, nix this, give us a sniper. And I think that's the worst idea you could do. And it's not because I don't want a sniper. I don't snipe a lot. When I do, I impress people, apparently, because I guess I'm kind of good at it, but I hate it. It stresses me out. I don't like doing it. I feel like I'm a disaster, but I'm okay at it. But the thing is if you give a really good sniper, and you got to figure what's the pinnacle perk going to be on a sniper? I mean, the hand cannon, I think, is going to get nerfed. Luna's
Final
Howl.
round. Destiny
Right?
1 final round. Yeah.
You just, the match starts, go with pride, Guardian. And you just hear, fing, fing. And you're just like,
Yeah.
They got that sniper. Keep your head down.
Yeah.
And
They just literally bring back effort eats with final round. That's it. Yeah.
That was so silly. But the point is that all of a sudden you're going to have these incredible PvP players with a broken sniper rifle. And that's not a gun that me or you, Cyborg, are just going to pick up and be like, great, I'm glad that I'm skilled enough to have gotten all these sniper kills to get this gun and get to Fabled to get this gun. And now I can slay noobs. Like, my concern with Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten is that it's going to be off-putting to casual players in quick play. And I think if you had given high-skilled players a very high-skilled, probably broken, overpowered, or close to it sniper, it would have just been another thing to be off-putting to even people like me who are I think next season I will get Not Forgotten. And not think, I know. I put my grind into comp way too late to get it. But this season, I'll do it. I'll get there, and I'm excited to do it. But I think if they had thrown in a sniper, it would have been really disheartening for me, because there's a couple maps that are very conducive to sniping, and that can be frustrating sometimes. So
but I think we have to be prepared that at certain points in certain seasons, there's gonna be weapons that are not ideal for every player, because they're specialized. Like they fit certain play styles, and I think this is the case with this grenade launcher. Like, obviously it's a play style, it's a weapon for a play style that most players are not comfortable with or don't prefer or enjoy, and that's part of why they're upset about this. Yeah. They would prefer to run a sniper because that's a play style they enjoy. So they wanted that, and they're not receiving that. And so I think that we have to, everybody's going to have to understand, like, I understand it's only the third season that we're getting a Pinnacle weapon, but it's not always going to be exactly what you want. And
for sure.
Talking about snipers as well, snipers are not in a great place in PvP right now. There's I see players almost every day complaining about snipers in PvP. A Pinnacle weapon is not going to fix the sniper archetype in the game. And if it does, it's so broken that it's going to do exactly what you said. It's going to absolutely break the meta and dominate every game if it's going to fix those problems. It would have to be a no flinch sniper or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
which I still think happens
silly.
in PC already, but that's
I can't speak on PC, but flinch is a really big like point of contention with snipers right now, and so a lot of people that normally would snipe as a playstyle don't, because they don't like the way that they work in Destiny 2. So
the only other point I have on this weapon is that the barrel end of it looks like a what you would probably use as a headlight when you're making a Lego car.
It does.
It looks like one of those little one bangers. Yeah. I don't really know what they're called, but they're just those circle caps that you put on a single Lego. I saw that the
whole thing looks like it's made of Legos. Let's be honest.
It kind of does.
Now that I'm looking at it, that's great. Oh man, but I mean, I don't know if I will put in the work for this, but I would love to play with it. Like, it sounds fun to me.
My favorite part about this is that you don't have to do it in comp. And the reason that I'm happy about that, as somebody who's pretty good at comp, I mean, I'm finishing this season around 2,500, and I've played pretty casually for most of the season and only got serious towards the end. It's very difficult to get these challenges in comp, only because in those horrible round-based modes, my opinion, not everyone else's, is you can only get X amount of kills. You might finish a countdown game with 14 kills and be on the top of your team. It's not unusual. It's not hard to do that. And so with a chance at 14 kills and needing to get 200 points with double plays, like that's going to be so... I'm definitely doing that step in... I hate to say it. I'm going to take advantage of Breakthrough on this guy like crazy, because we were playing some earlier to get the Triumph, because I don't care for Breakthrough one bit, but there's a Triumph for it in the Mastery section, and we were playing it, and there was games where we were walking out of there with 70 kills. Like, you can get so many kills in that game mode. Yeah. You go 5 out of 6 rounds in that game mode, and you drag them out. Yeah, lots of kills. So I'll be taking advantage of that for these easy.
Well, and I think it's a good change, especially hearing a lot of feedback on players that were working on Lunas and having to get kills with the same archetype weapon in a mode where people already have the Pinnacle weapon can prove really difficult. I mean, if you were going in and having to get those, how many was it? Like 75 or 100 precision kills with a hand cannon to finish it. When you're playing against people with Lunas or Not Forgotten who will outshoot you, can be pretty difficult. So I think it's smart to have the option, and especially if you're trying to maintain a competitive ranking and not tank your ranking by just farming kills and not do that to your teammates either. If you're like, okay, I'm really close, I'm going to go into quick play and I'm just going to get this portion of it done so that I can focus on the objective. Because a problem that I have with Gambit and across the whole game is they create quests and bounties that incentivize non-objective play in games that are objective based, and it's counterintuitive to how you should play the game. So I'm glad that they provided another option, even if it's less advantageous to do it.
I this is just so much better. There was, to give you an idea, in the last week or so, I've been helping two or three different people get to Fabled for Lunas, and on multiple occasions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get into it, but the matchmaking system is atrocious. And one of the things that people try to do is skip on 4 stacks. Guess what? From someone who's been playing a lot, 4 stacks ain't all that scary, because I play in 4 stacks a lot, and we often have players who are like, we're going to do our best. So 4 stacks don't really mean anything. But if you're in a 4 stack and another 4 stack joins and the game's about to start and they back out, it counts the game as you loading in against nobody. It happened to me a half a dozen times on my grind up where we would load into a game with nobody, and I was half tempted to screenshot it and send it to Bungie and be like, listen, we're not DDoSing people. I don't know what this is, but please do not ban us, because it made me nervous because we just play the game.
That happens.
But we're loading in.
I see that in Gambit too. Not as often, but it happens where people.
And I guess that's because people leave at the exact last second, like bounce out of it, and it still goes through. It not complaining as a comp player trying to get the grind
you get the
on,
win. I mean, that's great, but it still shouldn't be that. Like, you shouldn't have that happen.
And the worst part about it is, if you run with 2, it doesn't happen as much. But if you run with 3, that single player bounces all the time, and you end up in a 4v3.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
all the time, and it's one of the most frustrating things. So if you're, just as a heads up, if you're going into comp and you see a 4 stack show up, it's probably okay. I've been beaten way worse by teams of single players than I have by 4 stacks on regular intervals. That's way more scary to me.
By how many people did this whole climb solo. Like, a surprising amount of people that I know did the entire Luna's solo queuing.
I did a lot of it solo, but it's definitely better in a group.
I would
For sure.
I would not personally, I would never do that to myself. Like, no way, dude. For sure. Like, I would get too worked up when things would not go my way because of my team. Like, and that's saying that as a bad player, like, is not a great PvP player. But if I go in and I'm losing because I have potatoes on my team, like, I'm going to lose my mind.
Can I share something just anecdotally really quick from an experience I had 2 days ago? There's this LFG that someone just invited me to. It's a Discord LFG for PC D2. And it's, once you're signed in, it's basically everything's run through Charlemagne and some other bot, I forget, rank bot or something. You can just go in, find the chat that is what you want to do. And in my case, it's always sweats. And you just say, looking for 2 more for comp, doing not forgotten grind. We're around this level. And you say, comp room 16, and there's hundreds of rooms for each of these LFGs.
Oh, wow.
So we just go and jump in 16, and 2 more people jump in. You add them up, they join in, and you go play games. Well, I put in my listing, we are 2 adult men looking to play with people who aren't gonna yeet all over everything. I was like, we want Not Forgotten. We're above average, but we could use help. I was straight up. I was honest as I could. This guy, this like Norwegian guy, joins us. I'm not going to pretend to do his accent, but he had a really strong accent. And when he joins the game, his name in the game doesn't match his name on Discord, and I think he's pulling a fast one on us. And he's like, no, this is my second account. He was 115 light, and he was like level 10. And I go, oh man, I don't know. I don't know about this. But I look up his Discord name, and he's 5,500. Not Forgotten, the whole shebang.
Oh, yeah.
And his ELO is crazy.
There's people that do that. They have multis to just go in and like...
Oh, because I didn't know this. So if you're in comp and you're getting like, oh, these guys, they're coming through and they're blah, blah, blah. If you're in comp and you're like 1,400 and you get killed by a Not Forgotten, it's probably someone who sandbagged on purpose to go back down, because I didn't know this. You can't reset glory.
Right.
I didn't know this. So his whole thing was, I bought a second account so that I could play with people and help them get to Not Forgotten, because I can't do that on my account because I'm already
Yeah.
5,500.
Yeah.
And I was just like, A, that's the nicest thing I've ever heard. But B, this guy was running around with whatever guns he could find. He was like, oh, I wish I had a hand cannon. I need a shotgun. Oh, okay, hang on real quick. I got an engram. I got to run to the tower. And he was just using whatever he could find, killing it. Top of the team every game except one time. This guy was running around with white hand cannons I'd never even heard of and crushing dudes with Not Forgotten or with Luna's Howl and stuff. Unbelievable. I've never seen a player like this before. You hear tales of this stuff. This guy blew me away. And so I had to share that, give him the props that he deserves. I thought this was like a thing of legend. I was blown away.
Tales of legend from competitive. The white dragons among us. No, it's funny. I was talking about that with somebody the other night and how it's kind of interesting that there's all these players on every platform. You don't hear about them. They don't stream. They're not on social media. They're just these people that exist to just dominate the Crucible. And if you play a lot of comp, you learn their names and stuff. But if you don't, like, you've never heard of these people, but they could just show up and just crush your hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to play with one. That's great. I wish I could be that good at video games.
And you kind of go, if you get killed by like a hand cannon, a legendary hand cannon, where you're just like, who's using 10 paces in comp? What's going on with that? You know, it could be whatever. But when you're getting killed by a gun where you're like, what the heck? When you have to pull up the player and like inspect him and you go, this guy's not even 200 light. What the heck is going on here?
That's what it is.
It's that the guy was the next level. There was times we were playing and it was round base and he'd go, I'm going to push left. You three go right. And he would take that side of the map. And you were just like, come on. Just unbelievable.
That makes you feel bad. Well, I'm interested to see how these weapons, how all these Pinnacle weapons play out this season, and what people do to adjust for them when everybody's running a mountaintop. You know, could be interesting
or terrible. Who knows?
Terrible. No one knows. Future War Cult knows. Back to the TWAB. Little word from the Bungie Foundation. Bungie's working with Direct Relief. They've worked with this organization before to help support the cause to help loved ones who have lost their homes in the ongoing California wildfires. So, if you purchase the Destiny 2 Bungie Foundation pin on the Bungie store between now and December 31st of this year, 100% of the profits will be donated to Direct Relief's efforts to support this. So if you want a way to help do that, this would be a great way to do it. Direct Relief is a great organization. They do what their name is basically claims to be. They provide direct relief in supplies and just things that people need when there's natural disasters. They get things to places, and that can often be a really big logistical problem when there are natural disasters and things like this. So I wouldn't hesitate to go and buy one of those pins. It's a cool little pin too. I have one, or I actually have a couple. I have one I need to give away to somebody, but you can pick it up on the Bungie store. Next up, Black Friday. There was a sale, and it's ongoing actually through December 4th. So you've still got time over at the Bungie store if you want to pick up some existing swag on sale up to 50% off, as well as some new items. They've got some new t-shirts, a couple beanies up. There's even a new piece of jewelry with the Gambit insignia on it that I thought was pretty cool. So they've got some incentives as well. Any purchase, they've got a Black Skies Destiny 2 emblem. If you purchase a physical item, you get a Black Armory sticker pack And if you purchase more than $50, you get a Destiny Forsaken tote bag. Fancy. I actually bought a couple things. I will confess. I bought that raid shirt.
I don't think anyone's surprised by that.
No, but that shirt, dude, the raid symbols, I had to get it. I had to get that.
Yeah, that seems like your kind of jam.
Yeah, I'd wear that. And then one of the shirts that I wanted, the whether we wanted it to or not shirt, came back in stock. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
It sold out before I grabbed it last time, and it came back up for sale, so I grabbed it. I was happy about that. So yeah, through December 4th, you can pick up stuff on sale. Check it out. Next up, they've got a new comic to announce. I'm excited about this. Did you like the webcomics that came out with the last couple of expansions?
Never touched them.
You didn't read them?
Nah, it's not my jam. If it's
the
not
Osiris
in the game, I don't care.
was okay. I liked the Anna Bray series that came with Warmind. You might check that one out. That one was written a lot better. Like, it was actually interesting to read. But they've got a comic series, a webcomic up called Cade 6. Not Cade, Cade's 6. Heroes may die, but their stories are forever told, and some heroes have more stories to tell than others. Cade 6 had a job to do, so he gathered a crew of unlikely troublemakers and headed to the reef. The plan was to hunt fallen barons in the tangled shore, to bring outlaws to justice. Maybe the plan didn't go so well, or maybe it did. Depends on who you ask. After all, when someone goes looking for trouble, sometimes they find it. Cade 6 Part 1 sets the stage for a showdown between Cade 6 and the vile, scorned barons who eventually help claim his life. So this will be released on November 29th in all of their supported languages. That's going to be this coming Thursday if you're listening. And they've got a preview of the cover, which looks pretty cool. It looks like we've got Soraya Hawthorne, Banshee, Petra. I'm not sure who this other lady is on the right.
I'm not sure either.
Her. And then the last one looks like the Drifter there. Pretty sure. So maybe a new character here. I'm excited for this. And I'm sure it's probably going to tie into Black Armory, let's be honest. Somehow. Last over in the Destiny players.
Could that person be Mara?
Do you think so?
The hair's not necessarily right.
Yeah, the hair's not right. And there's like a blue splotch on the right side of her head.
That could be a shadow. That could be the way they're handling shadows. I don't know. Hard to tell.
Looks like a new character. I don't know. We'll find out next week. Destiny player support. They want to mention clan rank resets. They do reset at the start of Season of the Forge. You've got till November 27th to achieve clan rank 6 and unlock the clan staff. This is a great change. So they talk about the weekly raid bounty. At the beginning of the season, you had to get your clan to rank 4 to access the weekly raid bounty. But during Season of the Outlaw, they mentioned, so if you have achieved clan rank 4, let's see, how am I reading this? Okay. During Season of the Outlaw, players needed to have achieved clan rank 4 to unlock Hawthorne's weekly bounty. In Season of the Forge, this bounty will be available to all players who have unlocked the Last Wish raid.
Whoa, that was fun.
Get a little tongue-tied to get today. Regardless of clan rank. So, and this was a complaint, and specifically because if you hadn't gotten some of these challenges when they first came, somebody did the math and you wouldn't you wouldn't be able to hit clan rank 4 again till like January. So you would miss challenges no matter what. So this is good that they kind of saw ahead here and fix this. And especially I've heard some complaints of people with small clans who can't really rank up as much, and they may miss some of those incentives, but at least they'll be able to do these challenges. So good job. Some of this stuff we've already seen and heard before. so I'm going to skip this, but go check out Destiny Player Support if you've missed a TWAB recently. Finally, Movies of the Week, a really cool montage from, forgive me if I don't have your name pronounced correctly, Legola Flash. And he is a fusion main, and it's Titan that really seems to like Striker Titan. Go check it out. Really cool editing and some cool plays in here, with a honorable mention of a solo Shattered Throne with no guns. If you really want to make me feel bad about myself, I'm not going to watch it. I can't even do it with no weapons with a team, much less by myself.
I got to the ogre without dying solo, which I thought was pretty impressive. And I'm also lying to you just a teeny tiny bit, because actually, wait a minute. Is the Thrall Room before the ogre?
Thrall Room. I don't know.
I think it's before the ogre.
I think it's before.
It is. So I made it up to the Thrall Room. I'm not even kidding. Someone messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to do a raid? We got 5. We need someone right now. And I was like, oh, man, I'm like 40 minutes. I was going slow. I'm like 40 minutes into this no-death solo run of the Shattered Throne. I'm feeling real good about this. I'll let you know if I die. I'll join up. He's like, all right, we'll keep looking then. A minute and a half later, I'm going through that like balance beam room where you kill the ogres. Everything's dead. I just got to get through it. I slip and fall.
Oh, man. Dude,
so
those beams are like rounded.
Yeah.
So there's like a very small place that you can land on it, or it'll roll you off. It's so tricky.
And so I just joined up with them, and they're like, oh, change your mind? I was like, nah, I died. Like immediately. And I've never died in the Thrall Room, so I wasn't worried about that at all. I'm pretty sure I would have made it to the ogre. The ogre is where I'm nervous, and I've heard of people actually masterworking armor sets on purpose for that encounter, and I'm like, oh, that's smart.
That could definitely help. Well, finally, last little announcement in the TWAB. On November 27th, we will see a Vidoc that will tell us what we'll be playing and more details on their plans going forward. They'll also have a full gameplay calendar to draw a clear picture of what to expect for the rest of the year and beyond. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm surprised they've waited this long to put out anything about the Black Armory.
I'm okay with it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've already paid for it.
I mean, I have too, but I would just imagine that they would want to get people excited about this content, you know, but maybe they expect them just to buy it when it shows up if they don't have you know?
Well, no, the whole point of this extended pass thing or annual pass was you're all going to be able to keep playing the game. Yeah. You just won't be able to access the stuff that you don't get in that's in the pass. You won't have access to that. Which might be a detriment. These black quality weapons that are coming out, they might decimate in Crucible, and it might be the incentive. And there's people who will make the argument that, well, this game's unplayable now because I'm not there. And it's, maybe, you know, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Do you really think we'll get a new quality weapon? Didn't they announce that already? No, it's a rumor. Is it really just a rumor? I thought they'd already announced it. Came from a leak. Well, quote unquote. Recently watched a interview. It was a rapid fire interview. This is an old one too. It was like a month before. It's pre-Forsaken. Yeah. And they were just like, if there was a new rarity weapon, what would it be? And they both like immediately went black. And it was like, that's. Like, I mean, it was the only one where they both said the same thing. I'm just curious. You're stating it almost as a fact, so because like this is the first time I've heard it that it's not a fact. I'm almost certain that I've seen this somewhere, but maybe it's just hearsay from everyone. That's mostly where it came from. That, and it's come from one of the Anon the 9 posts that were leaked. You know, from him leaking stuff on Reddit that's taken as a Bible right now. We'll see. It'll be cool. I think it'll be a cool addition to the game. You know, we haven't seen any changes to rarity in a long time. I'm just curious how it's going to be implemented. Yeah, the last one we had was the Adept weapons in Destiny 1? Yeah. Was that what they were called? Adept? Yeah. And they were special-ish. they were kind of like having a good
it was just
masterwork.
Yeah, it was just masterworking, just a variation on existing weapons, but a new rarity can really change the whole game, I think.
I agree.
All right, the news is done. Now it's time to ask you, Blue, how was your reset?
Oh my God, I've done so much.
Tell me, please.
It's all I've done. So, gosh, how was my reset? Normally when you have guests, you're like, how's it been since the last time you were on? And it's been a year. So let's see. Let's get into this. It's been like 500 hours of gameplay. So, well, I got Forsaken.
Where to start?
Cade dies. I couldn't believe it. So let me start there. No, it's been a hard grind to finish things up for season 4. I do have my own clan, but I'm not going to advertise it here because Derp has their own. But we just barely edged out getting max clan rank before the season, which I'm super stoked about. We had a big drop off in players. It was basically from my stream, and we at one point were 3 clans, and now we're down to 1, and our numbers are dwindling. But we're actually on an uptick. We've picked up a bunch more players lately, and we managed to get it done, and we have every stave in Destiny 2 on this clan, and I love it. And I told a new member that, and he was like, I pitched that to my friends. They thought it was stupid because like 4 of his friends went and made a clan, and it's just the 4 of them. And he's like, I'm in this other clan, and they have all the staves. Like, can you imagine how stupid that sounds? When you're just like, what's
most
the
people
pitch? Why should I join this
don't even
clan?
know what that is. Like,
I know.
They're like, what? Stave? What?
Exactly. And so it's so goofy to me. Do they have people who can carry me in trials? Do they have good raid teams? Are they good in Gambit? What are they good at? They have all the staves. What? But it's a point of pride for me. So, but we did that. I got my Luna's Howl. I got my broadsword. I mean, this is my reset in the last month. I got my Luna's Howl, my broadsword, Dredgen, Malfeasance, a couple really high level god tier rolls on different weapons. I don't know. How's my reset been? It's been great. I could go into all the only thing I don't have, and you and I share in this frustration.
Oh man.
The 1,000 voices.
Just won't show up.
Or as I call it, the 1KV.
Yeah.
That 1KV avoids me to no end. However, I have good news. Today, and I was going to tell you this before we started recording, and I was like, nope, this is Destiny news. Let's talk about it. It happened.
It happened, today?
Cyborg. Not 1KV.
Oh.
Better.
Breakneck Weapons?
I got my Breakneck auto rifle, and all I need now is Titan to come back around as the flashpoint, and I'm Wayfarer.
Oh,
Let's
dude,
go.
I'm jealous, man. I still need two weapons.
That grind has been killing me.
I think it's the 77 Kelvins and the Breakneck Winterwolf auto is what I need.
And when that Winterwolf dropped for me today, I screamed. I screamed. I was ecstatic, and it was so disheartening that I finally, when it popped up, I was playing with a friend of ours, and he was like, "I'm gonna laugh when it's not the auto rifle," and I go, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna react because that's what I'm expecting."
Right?
Because I'd gotten 2 scouts, 2 snipers, two sidearms. It's like they know what you have and keep giving them to you. You have a 25% chance every time you're opening it at getting any of the weapons. And I'd opened, in the last 8 days, I've opened 9 packages. I finally got an auto rifle. Like, what are the odds of that? That's insane. And so it was, and I know there's people out there who've been doing this for much longer, but I'll tell you what, start your grind at like 5 or 6 Eastern. I don't know what it is, but these things clearly have their own reset. I don't know how far to get. I want to jump into the Breakneck stuff right now.
Dude, there's a whole bunch of tinfoil hatness about this whole, like.
But I'm telling you, I did it at reset that Sunday. So apparently you really only want to get 1 schematic a day. And this is all stuff that I found out after grinding for 8 hours last Saturday. These are the working
theories, yeah.
And so in 8 or 9 hours last week, I got 2 schematics. That was it. And one was really early on and one was much later. And then I grinded for a couple more hours until people said, you need to do it at reset every day once. So the next day at noon, reset. I quit out of the game completely, relaunched the launcher and everything, including the game, did the whole shebang, and it took me 3 hours to get my next one. I was like, that's no better. This is not better. The next day, it was my fourth one, and that was around 5:30, 6 o'clock at night Eastern. The day after that was my third one. The day after that, it was my first one. The day after that, I think it was my fifth one. No, the day after that, I did it. I was going to go do it at reset again because I had the day off or something. Oh, yeah, because it was Thanksgiving. So we weren't going anywhere for a couple hours. So at reset, I started going. And after my 14th or 15th node, an hour in or more, I was like, I'm going to wait. Came back to it at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. It was my second or third one. There's a different reset for these things. I'm convinced of it. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've been testing it all week. And I if you're still on this grind, if you do it after 6 o'clock at night, you should get it within your first 10, easy peasy. But if you do it at reset, you're going to be at it all day.
So weird, man.
It is.
I wish I knew what was going on behind the scenes there and why it's so hard.
And after hundreds of these things, I still only have 36 of 40 nodes.
Oh, dude, that's the real grind is getting those nodes is insane.
Can you imagine if you needed that for Wayfarer?
For a little bit, I thought that you did need that. And then I realized I was looking at the triumphs for for Mars and not for Wayfarer. I was like, oh, thank God, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to get that. But I'm just those two weapons away. I mean, I've had the rest of it knocked out for weeks. So I'm just trying to get those done. Well, the one thing that I need to do that I haven't is if you didn't do the Nascent Dawn quest line on all your characters, if you get to one of the beginning, the first or second beginning steps of that quest, then you get a Breakneck schematic engram as part of the beginning of that quest. I did it.
What?
I didn't tell you. You didn't know about this?
No! I could have done it on my two other characters. I'm so mad at you right now. I'm so mad at you right now.
Dude, I didn't think about it. I mean, you just were talking about it last weekend. You're done, so just don't worry about it. I'm not done.
How much time have you put into it this week?
This week, none. In the past 3 weeks, too much. To be fair, I haven't gotten to play video games this week. It's not a by choice thing.
All right.
But yeah, I need to do that. I've done it on one other character, but I have one that can go and do it and at least get another shot at an engram. But either way, I'm going to be grinding some more unless I just get mega lucky. But I did, to update our listeners, when we recorded last, I did not have the Osprey. I finally got it on my 30th or something clear last reset of the Nightfall. Literally every other person that would come run it with me would get it. I was the good luck charm. 5 other people got the rocket in my 30-something clears.
You just had to be in Discord with me for me to get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how great it was. So next time it comes up, if you need the Osprey, call me. I'm for hire. $5-10 a clear. You're guaranteed to get it within at least 5 clears. So, 30 minutes or less, an Osprey guaranteed, or your money back. There you go.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Kind of back up from, just this week a little bit. What has been your favorite thing that has really changed the game for you since Forsaken dropped?
Just the chase. The chase is back. The loot is good. There's things that... So then the people are back too, because there's stuff that everyone that I'm playing with... Yeah, there's stuff to do, and it's in all walks of life. So I have friends who love raiding. Well, raids are back, and it's fun, and there's gear that's hard to grind. I've done... granted, we stopped running the whole raid and just going to Riven for 1KV, but I still don't have the Ghost Shell or the Sparrow. So I might start doing full runs again for that sake, but I really want 1KV first before I start doing the full thing.
I don't blame you.
But
I still need the bow.
I got lucky with the bow. I have everything else.
Yeah.
But so I have people who love raiding, people who love Gambit, although I think I'm the only dredging in our group. I got really lucky with the meatball, though, because I couldn't get it. And then the last time it was triple, I believe it was. In fact, I was streaming it. You were watching when we got it, and I killed it the first time.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Then,
yeah. Man, I am lucky, dude. I am like... Yeah. You're good luck. You just need to remember that. Start calling me when you're having a hard time.
You want to come and hang out in Discord next time we run? You know what? I'm going to do that. Next time we raid, I'm going to have you jump into our Discord real quick so that when I open because the way we did it last week was we ran Riven 3 times, and on the third one we did the relay race, and then everyone opened 3 chests. Just cut out those extra relay races.
Yeah.
And so,
that's smart. I haven't thought about doing that, man.
Those mechanics are interesting. I mean, I hate the relay race. I have all sorts of opinions. Yeah, it breaks up you beat the boss. Everyone screamed. Now you're not done. You don't have loot yet. You have to do this relay race thing where people get confused, don't know where to go, haven't picked up things. It's more mechanics, and at the end, you're split up. Usually 1, maybe 2 people are there for the final moment, because once you get sucked back into that room, you can just run away from what's happening. It's not engaging. It's not interesting. I hate the glittering key. Why not let me get excited about my ship drop instead of telling me I have to go back and play this game again? Like, they've made choices to keep people engaged that I think failed, and I don't like it. I really wish they had gotten rid of the running of the heart and the glittering key.
I think it would have been like, I think the idea like of running the heart to be purified is like a cool concept in the game world, and the mechanic around it is fun. There's parts of it, like you're mentioning, like that don't work as well. I think it would have been smart if they had simplified or taken a part of the Riven fight and shortened it and made running the heart the end of the actual, like you had to finish, it was one whole encounter, right? So you wouldn't lose the momentum of the encounter. I think it would have worked better.
I think what they were going for was that Halo 2, Halo 3 final get out of there in the Warthog or the race.
They said that in the raid along.
I didn't watch the raid along.
Like that's what they were almost going for, is like the oh wait, you're not done yet thing. Like
okay, and I appreciate that, but I think call on that having that relay race aspect to it didn't work. I think if they're going to do that, then what you do is you have it be a moving level. So perhaps you've ripped her heart out and she's on her last leg. So she's crawling after you, but not very fast. Right. So you still have to fight the enemies and someone's just moving slow. Yeah. And so you have to make sure but there's this sucking into
there could have been
I don't like that they break the teams up.
Right. That's what it would have made it, I think, really fun and impactful, is if you finish DPS and then like her mouth is open but she's not dead, or her chest bursts open and then you realize, wait, it's not done yet. You got to go grab her heart and bring it to be purified before the fight's over, and then she's chasing you or something, and it would have been like that would have blown people's minds, you know?
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're armchair designers, and that's all
exactly.
Great. We see it from this perspective now that it's done. But I don't know a lot of people after having run the raid a lot that feel like they care much for that encounter.
That's what I finally said, wait, why are we running this 3 times? And now most of the people know, in our group, I orchestrate the raids. I communicate to everyone when, like, I figure out when our times are, like, when can everyone do it, get the teams set up, everything. And 2 of our main guys already have 1KV, which I'm jealous of to no end. They got it the same week. It was like our second week of trying to get it. And the whole thing is, when we're all said and done, and I this is pompous of me, but I'm the one who does the footwork to make sure that we can actually, or the legwork to make sure that we can actually do this raid. I say I open first, because I have a theory that I have a theory that you only get one 1KV from a wall of chests. And I'm the one chasing people down, figuring out when they're available, making sure that schedules line up, finding the 6th place. and I don't pull rank on a lot of things, but I pull rank on that one, because I'm just
I think according to the team that they maxed out their keys and went and opened every chest, like their hunch based on the math that they did is that there's 2 chests that can have it every raid, like per encounter.
Yeah, I open the same chests every time.
It's kind of anecdotal, though. You do the same one? Dude, I've been changing it up every single week. I'm like, I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try this one.
The first week I don't open that chest, it's going to have it in there.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just not.
Do you think that it's preset? Like, do you think that the chests are like mapped out with what loot is in which chest?
Like, you mean fixed?
Yeah. Well, like
no.
Per encounter. Like, do you the way you're talking about it is like, oh, well, this week it has it in there.
No,
I've always thought about it as you open the chest and then it does roll. Like it does a roll on your drops. Yeah, I think it's the roll of the dice
every single time. But
so you're being more superstitious about it.
What I'm saying is, if I don't open that chest and I open up a different one, someone's going to open that chest up and it's going to be
and then you're going to be like, no, my chest,
son of a,
I betrayed my chest.
Exactly. And so that's why I always do it. But anyway, way off topic. What you'd ask is what I liked about it. And what I like is that there's people who want to raid. There's people who play PvP. I've been playing more PvP than ever. If you were to go through my Twitter account far enough back, you'd see that I thought Destiny 2 PvP was the worst, trashiest, most terrible PvP on the market right now. I still think that it's not in a great place, but I'm found ways to have a lot more fun with it. And I'm also kind of disgusting at it. So it's, and I don't care tooting my own horn because I play good and I play with a controller on PC. So it ain't easy. But I also have people who just, just kind of enjoy doing whatever, Tonight I said, guys, I'm trying to break through just for the triumph. Who wants in? And 2 people hopped in with me. There's just people who want to do stuff again, and there's stuff for everyone. And I like that. I like that people are back and enjoying it, and they go and do a little Red Dead Redemption, and then they come back, and then they go do a little Fallout 76, and they come back. And it feels the most organic and easily enjoyable and digestible that Destiny has felt since I'm gonna say what was the Fallen expansion with when they brought in the Reef?
House of Wolves.
House of Wolves. That was like a moment in time. I don't know why, but House of Wolves with the different kinds of activities with I wanted to say Trials of the Nine, but Trials and Prison of Elders with the 2 raids that were still fun to run, and there was people who wanted to do everything, and it felt like that's when I had the most fun in early Destiny. I'm not saying it was the best Destiny, but it was where I had the most people, the most regular playing crowd, a lot of good friends that were close to me, that we played all the time, and this feels the closest to that Destiny's ever been, if not surpassing it. And that's my favorite part about it. I mean, I could sit here and say the weapons feel great. They do. The encounters are awesome. They are. The new environments are gorgeous. They are. But that feeling of the gang's all here is the best part of Destiny 2 Forsaken.
Yeah. I think that really makes it for me too. Just having all my friends like actively playing. Yeah.
And
not all of them. There's some that, they barely played Destiny 2 and we never saw them again. But that was more like it wasn't for them, and or they had other things going on, you know. But a lot of my friends play a lot more now. And, you know, Destiny is a game played best with friends. You know, playing this game solo is okay, but it's not how it's built, and it's not the most enjoyable. So the people in the community definitely make it, I think. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get an idea of, you know, what's brought you back and kept you engaged, you know, in contrast to after Destiny 2 when it wasn't the game for you and you kind of took a break for a long time. A lot of people did. So it's interesting to see what's stuck now.
If you want to see the perfect example, the exemplification, in fact, of why I hated Destiny before Forsaken, did you hear my whole rant about this Breakneck weapon I had to get? That is what what Bungie called Destiny 2 Endgame prior to Forsaken, is these horrible farms where, if you're not familiar with the Breakneck weapons, let me quickly break this down. You farm some activities on Mars, not all, but some activities on Mars. Public events can be canceled by EP, which doesn't give you so basically you get, what are they called? Resonant stems from these events, which people can block you from getting, and they take time to get. Then you need 4 of those to get a key for the sleeper nodes. I'm using my terms because I don't know what they're actually called. But you get a blue rarity key that you go around, and you need these sleeper node codes in order to open a specific one. You go to the location, you find the node, you open the node or decrypt the node or whatever, and it gives you loot. The loot that it drops is almost always 1 or 2 blue rarity armor or weapon pieces. Once a day or more, if you grind long enough, you might get a second, which happened to me once, and it took me 8 hours. You'll get a schematic, which you then take back to Anna Bray, who will give you the exact same weapon that you got yesterday. And I'm talking hundreds of these things,
Goodness
guys.
gracious.
Like, it's
just
horrible.
RNG on RNG on RNG on RNG. It's like,
and it's too much, and that's what they passed as Endgame. And now in Forsaken, they say, hey, here's a triumph for going into PvP with trace rifles. Go win a game with just trace rifles on your whole team, and you go, yeah, that sounds fun. Like, I mean, it's just better. I don't know how to put it. It's just better. And so, and for instance, I've been trying to get different weapons, and in the middle of this terrible grind that I'm doing on Mars, I actually ended up getting 2 or 3 Dustrock blue shotguns, and I'm like, all right, sweet. And one of them is a really good roll. So it was kind of like a really, like, the loot made it worthwhile, but just to knock out these little things from expansions past, it was a harsh reminder of how bad Destiny used to be and just how far it's come. I'm so happy with Forsaken. I don't have the words to express it.
yeah, I think there's still some rough points like that need to be ironed out. Even in Forsaken, there's that same type of loop that can be problematic. But, you know, that's one thing out of a lot of really great things that I can definitely live with it. You know, it's not the only thing that is good about or bad about the game. When there's like 100 other things that are enjoyable, like, I can deal. So,
yeah.
Well, great, man. Well, let's do some Derp Fam discourse, and we're going to wrap this show up.
You never told me about your reset.
Well, my reset was non-existent, my friends, because I haven't.
All right, Derp Fam discourse. Thank you. Good talk. All right.
I've been so busy with the holiday, I haven't played since reset, and I'm probably going to get on tonight and actually get some stuff done. But
on PC, I hear it's on sale.
I have it on PC, but I don't plan on playing it. I can't manage 2 different platform of characters, dude.
You just don't appreciate our friendship. I understand.
You know, I heard that Forsaken is on sale for Xbox this week.
Oh man,
Just
really?
want to put that out there.
Oh, that's crazy cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I happen to have
fun.
like a $30 Microsoft Store gift card, actually, a digital one.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, I don't know what to spend it on. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a giveaway. Make sure you go to gleam.io.
All right. Dirtfam Discourse. We've got an email from Quentin about exotic shaders.
I like this headline already.
Oh, it's fantastic. Why don't you read this? Because I'm tongue-tied, Blue. Can you do that for me?
I'm an old man. Let me put my glasses back on.
There you go. Get your spectacles.
So this is from Quentin. So recently, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Bungie released a trailer for the new Refer a Friend link program that they had back in D1. If you refer a friend and help them level up, you're rewarded with the Borealis exotic sniper and an animated rainbow ornament and some other rainbow animated rewards. I actually want to bring the attention to the animated ornament. With this new ornament, I would love to see an introduction to new shaders for non-exotic weapons and non-exotic armor. It would be really cool to have an auto rifle with a shader effect that looks like lava is flowing through the gun, or on a hunter's cloak that there's a thundercloud, and every time you double or triple jump, there's a lightning strike effect on the cloak. These animated shaders could be labeled as exotic shaders and would have a lower chance of being obtained from different sources. I would love to hear what you guys think about this topic. Love the show. Keep up the good work. I love the show too. You guys do good work.
Keep it up.
Yeah, and keep.
This is a cool idea.
Yourself on the back.
Yeah, good job, man. I think it's worth mentioning that there is a shader in the game that is pretty close to this idea that you can only get in the Dreaming City. I'm about to pull up the exact name of it. I have it. You can only get it if it drops on gear that has it equipped. So you would have to get that gear and dismantle the gear to get it. And it's basically a blue shader that flows like water. That's the best way. It has like a wavy, watery, blue flowy effect on it. I'm going to pull it up so I can tell you.
It's not Blue Shift Dreams, is it?
That's the one. Blue Shift Dreams.
I got a whole bunch of that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm going to pull up my character while we're talking about this because I have it on my auto rifle. But yeah, it's kind of rare. Yeah, Blue Shift Dreams. So if you can get one, basically, if you get an item with it, dismantle it if you can, so that you can buy more copies of it because it looks crazy. But I would love to see this taken to another level with some shaders that have some effects like that. They definitely have the technology in the game to do stuff like this. So I think it would be awesome to see some exotic shaders that you can put on stuff that would give it some cool effects. I like these ideas. What do you think, Blue?
So a little tiny bit of history. I won't go too deep, but my last big deep love before Destiny was Halo Reach. Now you know why I play Destiny. And my main grind in that game from the get-go was get the inclement weather armor effect, which literally gave you a cloud with lightning striking all around you as you ran around and played this game. I thought it was awesome. The coolest thing in the world. And then you always knew when someone gave up early on it and bought Pestilence, which was just this gross smoggy cloud thing because it was half the price. But I saved up and I got it, and I still have it to this day. Even on, I think I still have it on the Master Chief. Yeah, because it's in the server. So even on the Master Chief collection, I still have that armor effect, and I love it. You literally described this essentially with awesome. That hunter cloak. Now, I'm not a hunter, I'm a Titan, but I can appreciate that concept.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it, especially if what would be cool to me is if they did kind of similar things to do you remember the class items that came with the Taken King that were like specific to like I'd like to see something like that. So if you're running a Striker Titan, maybe you have a little bit more of a lightning effect coming off the ground, you know, or something as you're running. They do similar things like that already when you're charging up stuff, and,
right?
You know, but it would be
well, even just like
potential here.
If you applied it as a shader, maybe you could like it depending on your subclass. Like if you're a Striker Titan, it would give you like arcing electricity across that armor piece. Or
like the Solstice of Heroes armor that was specific to whatever subclass you were using.
A bit, but that was kind of a glow, right? But it'd be cool to see some dynamic effects. Fashion, yeah, absolutely.
If you have that armor and you've put in an ornament that's for the Striker class, because I think that's the important part to me, is setting up, you know, saying this is my build. I like this build. I use this build when I play PvP, and I want everyone to know that I am a Solar Titan or a Solar Warlock or a Solar Hunter.
You invest in it and you install that aura into it because you run that a lot. And it would look
and when
cool.
I run, there is smoke behind me.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like, just let you know if you're a Sunbreaker, like you're just friggin' on fire, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome. Absolutely. I would frankly be surprised if we didn't see some stuff like that in the next year. You know, they really started to mess around with a lot of different effects and dynamic effects at the end of Destiny Year 3. Once we got into Rise of Iron and we started getting a lot of the triumphs and stuff, and when they brought back the old raids and a lot of those armors and ornaments and everything started to get really fantastic, I was digging that so hard, man. So I hope that they do some of that again. Great email, though, Quentin. Thanks for bringing that up, man. Definitely got some potential there, and hopefully some Bungie folks are listening and might take that to heart. If you've got some discourse, though, if you got an idea, if you've got something to say about what we've talked about this week or just anything else in between, send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or a speakpipe, speakpipe.com/destinyreset. Next, we've got some shout outs to new patrons. One very close to me. He's in my fire team. MD Sailor 771 Pro. You know, it really says something when your actual friends support you. That's the hardest ones. So I appreciate that, Sailor, for becoming a patron, bud. Hey, if you want to become a patron, if you want to know what that is, go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of the show. You get a shout out on the podcast. You get your gamer tag posted on our website, and you get an invitation to the Discord channel just for Dirt Fan patrons and supporters. As always, I want to thank all of our continuing supporters. Really makes a big difference for the show. And we appreciate your support, especially through the holidays. I know you got to spend the money on the ones that you love. So thanks again. Well, Blue, it's that time, buddy.
Thanks it's that for time on. To go play Destiny.
That's right. It's time to go log on. Yep, I've kept you long enough. By the way,
I'm sorry, I meant to tell you, but a stranger says hi.
What? Who is this?
It's hard to say.
Don't understand.
I'm just letting you know.
All right. Whatever. How can people find you on the internet, Blue?
Your best bet is also probably your worst bet, and that would be on Twitter at BetterOffBlue, where you're going to be like, hey, I enjoy, because if you're still listening, I assume you kind of enjoyed the things I had to say. I enjoy what you had to say, and you can follow me on Twitter and then see what I was talking about, how I come off as a kind of a jerk on Twitter, and I apologize. But I also stream very occasionally these days on Twitter or on Twitch at twitch.tv.
On Twitch.
Some people do it.
Some people
they
do.
Use, what is it? Periscope or whatever?
Periscope, yeah.
But you can find me over there at twitch.tv/BetterOffBlue. I do have a YouTube channel with tons of content. In fact, if you enjoy the dichotomy between the two of us, we did a series called Night Fellas back in Destiny 1. That was a lot of fun, and that's over on my YouTube channel with my old name, youtube.com/I'm the Blue Ranger. And that was a really fun. I've gone back and watched a few of them. And there's also some drunk Destiny and stuff like that. There's a ton of other games as well, but if you like that Destiny content, there's a bunch on there. One person in my comments referred to me as the next Mr. Fruit. So
the next Mr. Fruit.
If you want that knockoff Mr. Fruit action, go check me out.
You want Mr. Vegetables? Here he is.
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh Lord.
You can find me on Twitter, CyborgSasquatch, and Mixer as well. You can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter, or follow us. Look us up on the web, www.destinyresetpodcast.com, your source for all things DRP, including links to follow and subscribe to us. Thank you if you're listening on Apple Podcasts for your reviews. If you haven't left us one, please do. It's super easy and helps us get seen and heard by more listeners. That'll be all. All right, man. Thanks for joining us again this week. Hopefully you'll be on more often again.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm just, as a last moment thing, I'm really bummed Arrow wasn't here, because I've been playing so much PvP, and I feel like in the past it's been like all this PvE talk when I used to guest on the show a bunch, and I was finally ready to come in and talk PvP with this guy, and he's no-showed on me at the last second.
We didn't even. I feel bad. I didn't even consider. I didn't even bring up why AER0KNIGHT's not here. It's like we just stuck him in a closet and pretend like he wasn't here.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's a small thing. He definitely had his foot chewed off by an alligator. So
no, that didn't happen. He's traveling. This is what we're going with. This is our alibi. We talked about this.
Intestinal tract of an alligator.
He's traveling with family this weekend and couldn't be here. But Blue was really looking forward to talking to him this week.
I really was. I'm like, and it sounds silly because normally I'm a PvE player, and then all of a sudden this season I got into PvP super hard. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm listening to him talk like Malfeasance looks like it actually is usable in PvP. I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, I'm just like, I want to have these talks, and here he's not here, and I'm sad about it. So Arrow, we got to do this again, man.
We'll have you back on soon so he can chat with you.
Let's see what the listener response is to this one before we jump to conclusions.
Yeah, we might want to check the numbers first.
There was the drop-off of 18 points when Blue came on. We might want to skip that one in the future.
I don't know about that anymore.
That was my cyborg voice, by the way. Anyway, it's time to go. It's late.
Good job. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong show.